Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Garcia, and in this, well, welcome to Classroom Overview. And in this Classroom Overview, we're going to be talking as if we're taking attendance. We're just going to be jotting lines on our paper, doodling. Every position of every doodle maps to another student that's watching. We can say that pattern directly reflects the engagement on Facebook. So we have sort of a positional understanding of, and we can go through that map of here and there. We're going to be figuring out what to talk about. Behind lines, I've been working on a few algorithms kind of lazily. I should have been putting more effort, but I have to say I'm pretty lazy at stuff. What do you guys really want out of this classroom? Do you want a sort of betterment, structure, success, social awareness? Because most of that stuff you're going to get partially, because none of these really matter in the whole run of things, but they still kind of take over the majority of what we think about every day, because sorry, the algorithms that we have are generally part of almost everything, including sociology, government, politics, emotions, thoughts. All of it is connected, and we learn in classrooms like sociology that you don't change the system with one person or a group. You change it with the society. But another issue with sociology is it's too linearized, where it's not flexible, and having something more that can adjust everything quicker than ever might create a dysfunction in the whole sociological perspective with what we're doing. And we can already see that with rises in chaos in our country and other countries. But I'm not saying the superficial details that are inclinated in a like fine-tuned area. I'm talking about like just the overview. So be it like it's like a classroom, not to just organize your thoughts, or it's like an ASMR at the same time, but let's put ASMR at the top. It's like post ASMR. See, sometimes we have this ideology that society works like a pyramid and we're at the bottom and the rich are at the top. But still, that's a little bit fragile to see it that way, because anybody can see the people are at the top and the rich are at the bottom, or it's somewhere in between, or different. But absolutely, it's not so easy to explain, because the fine-tuned details of it all is just you're not truly aware of what position you are in. You could be, based on your personality or a social role, be something else, but still, this is all just still more animalistic thought patterns, which we don't have to really get out of, but we just need a more sophisticated, robust point of view, or something wild to change the diaphragm of societal roles, kind of like a dual reality or dual binary appeal. But that's what people with gender dysphoria are trying to do. Create a, well, they're not even trying to do it. Were they've been exploring their identity, and they suddenly were put into that perspective by themselves or their own DNA, or it's all opinionated. Not all opinionated per se, but to people with a constructive, like conservative type perspective, they see that as not fully accurate. They see it as just like a role they go through or a phase, but some other people see it as the truth. But you can't really measure the truth based on like numbers or letters or any of that, but you can if you want. But other people don't really get to express themselves all the time because of and fear and ideology and such. But let's see. Continuing on this classroom, I just grabbed a new paper to explain classroom overview 1. So some people think that personal development is just a mere straight line or a line through time. But it's kind of complicated because we originated this idea from birth. So this idea of this linear connotation is just one of our attributes that we layered on over time, but it still exists in the paradigm even before we even thought of being born, or the idea if we were born or not. Fixated memories, ideologies that didn't come from parents or siblings, stuff that we still have within our mentalities that we don't choose to discuss for some reason because we're just a little bit shy about that stuff. But that's not the important part. It's like if you're more vulnerable with yourself through your development and you allow yourself to express and talk about what matters, or at least like say it in a way that is more Machiavellian or stoic. Well, those are the new paths after nihilism, solipsism, existentialism, and all those different transcendentalism and all these isms. You go into stoicism, Platonic, Aristotelian viewpoints. Doesn't really get you anywhere, but a new fixed point where you can explore your identity in more sophisticated roles. But let's say we're on this personal development line and we express like one point as like a marker, and every time we succeed at something we put that marker next to it, or jotted down in random parts we express the information of what we went through. This is called an environmental tag on a line segment. And problems that we're trying to fix, we could say there are points, bits in a line, in this line. Sooner or later, these bits will form into lines, and the problems will become successors. Things that we used to fear over here will become the source of our success later. We just need to find a way to navigate back or forwards through a feedback loop structure to get there. And you just need new fixed points to navigate through that. It's a different type of navigatable system, different than segments, is where you navigate through spherical areas where you can pinpoint an area of your life that had a lot of meaning, sophistication, and bring it back to a temporal lens, self-reflecting its situation back, and it can be a little bit not so accurate, but it's a little bit like the line segment system. But let's say we have a check mark and a circle for that. We'll be talking about at the end of this overview, we'll grade our perspective of what we went through this class, like what we learned in this pivotal examination of whatever we're going through. Still watching Seinfeld a little bit. Haven't been paying much attention. It's 11:29 right now. So the time is 11:29. Put your name in the left-hand corner and the date. You don't have to put the date as anything nominated. Just make a tag-based date, and a name could be anything. And then just kind of create like a square and navigate through it almost as if you have free fermions packeted throughout the whole lens of the square. They kind of pack it everywhere, but they almost retrace the past from before, but never in the same kind of glance. And they don't also travel through different lenses of holographic perspective. They never really get to where they were before, unless you packet information in the lensing. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now for this overview of the class. Just so your group, my grade for the day would be ST1 plus minus FA over 200%. And you guys will be graded similarly. Might be a different perspective. All we're doing is a little bit of relaxation technique. So, see, you thought that was almost over, but it turned out it didn't end accurately. Actually, maybe it did. I'm not sure. But so, if you meditate so much, don't focus on that. Focus on mere concentration or deliberation or mediation. Focus on different aspects of thought production. Sometimes your thoughts might nearly not have focus on any internal memory, almost as if your mind is gone somewhere else. It's been like that for years almost. Well, sometimes it feels as if it's still there, but that's what happens when you completely secede from mental activity. You find ways of escape, but it's going to last probably 9 more years. But over time, you're going to start to reflect on it more. But that's just the process you go through at the first school echelon to the next. Just like that. But that's the end for the class. Mr. Garcia signing off.